this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the ridged wave stitch. Really gorgeous textured fabric because we're working into the back loops for the majority of the time, so you get these lovely little ridges. Similar on the back, although a little bit different, but still equally pretty on the reverse. And it's a 4-row repeated pattern, but this is one set here and this is the second set. So rows 3 and 4 and then rows 5 and 6 are a repeated pattern throughout, but they're very similar. It's just to do with how we start and finish rows 4 and 6. That'll all become clear as you watch the tutorial. So let's have a look. For this tutorial I'm using a Stylecraft Aran and a 5mm hook. You can use any yarn that you'd like to use with the corresponding hook, or go up 1 or 2 hook sizes if you'd like your yarn to be slightly drapier. I also have a needle to sew in my ends and scissors for cutting off my yarn. So this pattern starts off with 6 rows, and then rows 3, 4 and 5 and 6 are the repeated pattern. But rows 3 and 4 are very similar to rows 5 and 6. You'll see how that works as we go through the pattern. So we need to make a foundation chain in multiples of 10 and then plus an extra 2 at the end for our turning chain. So we're going to make a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through the slip knot. That's my first chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For this sample piece I'm going to go up to 30. You can make your foundation chain in whichever length you would like, as long as it's a multiple of 10. So pause the video now and I shall see you in a moment. So there I have my foundation chain of 30 chains, and I'm going to do my 2 extra. That's 1, 2, which are going to give me the height for my work. So we're going to start working in the second chain from the hook, so we don't count the one on the hook, so 1, 2, and in there we're going in with a double crochet. That's UK terms. In US terms that's a single crochet. So we insert, yarn over, pull through. You should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do the same in the next chain, so insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to work a double crochet in each of the chains all the way down the row. So pause the video now and I will see you at the end of row 1. So there's row 1 complete. For row 2 then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. The chain 1 does not count, therefore we're going to work in this very first stitch here. And in there we're going in with 3 trebles. That's UK terms, remember, in US that's 3 doubles. So we yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1 treble, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's sort of half shell, if you like. So now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and in the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 5 trebles into the next stitch. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip 2, and this is sort of the repeated pattern bit here now. So skip 2, double crochet in the next one, two, double crochet, 3, we're doing 5, remember, 4 and 5, skip 2, 1, 2, and then treble, 5 trebles in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that's the end of that repeat there. So we skip 2, do 5 double crochets, skip 2, do 5 trebles to make a shell, and we do that all the way down the row. So I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, and do 5 double crochets, skip 2, do 5 trebles. I'm going to do that all the way to the end until I have 3 stitches left. So pause the video now till you get to your last 3 stitches, and I will see you in a moment. So I'm coming up to the end of row 2, so I've done 5 double crochets, I've got 3 stitches left. I'm going to skip 2, and where we started with sort of half shell at the beginning, we're going to do the same at the end. So in that very last stitch we're going to do 3 trebles. So 1, 2 and 3, and that's the end of row 2. So rows 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the 4-row repeated pattern, but as I said before, they're very similar. So to start row 3 then, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. The chain 1 does not count, so we were going to work into the very first stitch. But from here on in, we're going to work in back loops only. So if you have a look at the top of your stitches, you'll see you have 2 parts to your stitch. The bit nearest to you is the front loop, and the bit furthest away from you is the back loop. So we're only going to work into the back loops from here on, every single stitch in the back loops. I will forget, so I will keep reminding you. So we've chained 1 and we have turned, and we're going to do a double crochet in that first stitch, back loop only. And we're going to do a double crochet in the back loop of every stitch all the way down the row. So pause the video now whilst you work in the back loops only for every stitch with a double crochet, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've come to the end of row 3, which is my double crochet row, and you can see already you're starting to get this little ridge effect, and that's because we're working into the back loops. So we're going to chain 1, ready to start row 4 and turn our work. Again, it does not count, that chain 1, so we're going to work in the very first stitch, back loops only. And we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and 3. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in the next one we're going to do 5 trebles to make a shell in the back loops only. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Remember, you're doing this all into the same stitch to get that lovely shell fan. Going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then going over the top of the shelf in the previous row. In the next 5 stitches we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. So skipping 2, going 1, oops, don't yarn over, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip 2, 1, 2, then we're going to do 5 trebles in the next stitch. So skipping 2, 1, 2, 5 trebles, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we skip the next 2, 1, 2, and then we do the 5 double crochets over the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we do that all the way down the row. So we skip 2, we do our 5 trebles, skip 2, do 5 single crochets, 5 single double crochets, 1 in each stitch, and then skip 2, do your 5 trebles again. So I'm going to work to the end of my row, and I will join you when I get to my last 3 stitches. So pause the video now. So I've just done my last treble, and I'm going to skip my 2 stitches. That would leave me with my last 3 stitches. And what we're going to do in there is to do 1 double crochet in each, which is what we did at the start of the pattern. So skipping 2, 1, 2, and then a double crochet in each. Don't yarn over, Karen. Double crochet in each of those last 3 stitches, and that is row 4. Row 5 is a lovely easy row. Chain 1 doesn't count, turn your work, and we're going to do a double crochet in each of the stitches in the back loops only. So insert, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. So we're going to work all the way down this row with a double crochet, remembering to go into the back loops on every single stitch. So pause the video now, and I shall see you at the end of row 5. So I've come to the end of row 5, and I'm going to now start row 6. Row 6 is the final row of the repeated 4-row pattern. So we have row 3, which was the double crochet row. Then we have the pattern row here, which starts off with 3 double crochets, then a double crochet row, and the next row, row 6, starts off with 3 trebles. So you start off with the half shell on row 6. So that's the only real difference. The actual pattern is exactly the same, it's just how you start and finish the rows on row 4 and row 6. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Again, the chain 1 does not count, therefore we're going to work into that very first stitch with our 3 trebles to make a half shell in the back loop only. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's 1 and 2 and 3. Going to skip 2 stitches, and this is the start of the repeat for this pattern. So skip 2, then we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 back loops only. So 1 double crochet, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 5 trebles in the next stitch. So as you can see, it's very, very similar to row 4, just how we start and end the rows that is different. How many have I done there? 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, and 5. Then we start that repeat again, so skip 2, 1 double crochet in each of the next 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, 5 trebles in the back loop of the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we start the repeat again, so we skip 2, we do the 5 double crochets over the shell, and then in the dip you do your treble stitch. So I'm just going to work to the end of the row till I get to my last 3 stitches, and I shall join you in a moment. So I've got to my last 3 stitches, so I've just done my 5 double trebles. No, I haven't. So I've just done my 5 double crochets. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the very last stitch we're going to do that half shell. So we're going to put in 3 trebles in the back loops only. So 1 and 2 and 3. So for the next row, which is row 3, the repeat, chain 1, turn, and we would do our double crochet row. So it is different on the back to the front. This would be the right side. You can really see those ridges sticking off. So I'm going to work up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and I'll see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and you can really see how the ridges work from crocheting in the back loops only. And although it's a 4-row repeated pattern, as you'll have found out that rows 3 and 4 are very similar to rows 5 and 6. It's just to do with how we start and finish the rows. So it looks very similar on the back, not quite the same but very similar, and you can actually see more ridges on the back. And it's still quite pretty on the back as it is on what should be the front. So if you wanted to use this for a blanket or a scarf, it's a really lovely stitch for that. It's not too much of a yarn eater, which is always good. And I would recommend finishing off your pattern with one of the double crochet rows, so that you've got a much smoother, rather than having the shell, although there is a little bit of a bump there, you can sort of push that out to try and make it straighter, and then you can just do your straight edge for your border if you wanted to put a border on for a blanket. So that's how to do the ridged waves crochet stitch. So if you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm show it to other crocheters and to get the message out there that we are here to help you on your crochet journey. I shall pop 2 more videos on the screen over here to help you on your crochet journey a bit further, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!